We're always told that finance is all about spreadsheets, numbers, and really complex formulas. But what if I told you the real key to building wealth has almost nothing to do with how smart you are? So today, we're going to dive into the core ideas from Morgan Housel's work on the psychology of money, where it turns out your behavior, not your brain, is what really counts.
To see what I mean, let's start with a tale of two guys. On one side, you've got this brilliant tech executive. This guy helped invent the technology for modern Wi-Fi. He made millions, carried around huge stacks of cash, and once, just for kicks, threw $1,000 gold coins into the ocean. And yeah, you guessed it, he went completely broke. Then, on the other side, there's Ronald Reed, a janitor. He spent his whole life quietly saving and investing his pretty modest paycheck. When he passed away, he left behind an $8 million fortune. How on earth is that even possible?
Well, those two stories get right to the heart of what we're unpacking today. Financial success isn't really a hard science. It's more of a soft skill. It's not about what you know. It's all about how you act. It's kind of amazing, really. Finance is one of the only fields where a janitor can genuinely, truly outperform a certified genius.
So for part one, we've got to look inward. Because you see, the biggest challenges we face with money, they aren't out there in the stock market. Nope, they're right here inside our own heads.
Let's try a little thought experiment. You're walking down the street, and this flashy, bright red Ferrari just roars past you. Be honest. What's the very first thought that pops into your head?
Right? If you're really being honest, you're probably not thinking, wow, that guy driving is so cool. You're thinking something more like, wow, if I had that car, people would think I'm so cool. And that is the huge irony of trying to get respect by buying expensive stuff. People don't admire you for it. They just use your things as a mental benchmark for what they want. The driver becomes totally invisible. It's only the car that matters.
And beyond trying to impress other people, there's another huge mental trap, the goalpost that just keeps moving. Look at a guy like Rajat Gupta. He was the CEO of one of the world's most prestigious consulting firms. He had a net worth of $100 million, but it wasn't enough. He wanted more. He ended up risking what he had and what he absolutely needed for something he didn't have and really didn't need. He got caught for insider trading, and he went to prison. The hardest skill by far is just learning when to say, I have enough.
And all this leads to another really key idea. No one is crazy. When you hear people call your financial decisions crazy, what they're really doing is just looking at your choices through the lens of their own unique life experiences. Maybe your parents who lived through a tough recession see your dream of starting a business as totally reckless. But for you, who grew up seeing people succeed online, it looks like freedom. Their perspective isn't wrong. It was just shaped by a totally different world.
So that's kind of the internal game, right? The battle in our own minds. Now for part two, let's zoom out and look at the unseen forces that are quietly shaping our financial lives, sometimes more than we'd ever like to admit. We're talking about time, luck, and what wealth really is.
Okay, take a look at this number, $81.5 billion. Just let that sink in for a second.
What is that number? Well, that's how much of Warren Buffett's net worth he earned after he was old enough to get Social Security checks. Think about that. His skill at picking stocks is legendary, of course, but his real secret weapon, it wasn't just being a genius investor, it was time. Buffett started investing when he was just 10 years old, and when you look at this timeline, you can see it was a slow burn for decades, and then, bam, an absolute explosion. The vast majority of his wealth came from the returns that his returns were earning. The good news? You don't need a genius-level IQ to get that kind of magic working for you. You just need patience and a long time horizon.
But, time isn't the only powerful force at play here. There is also luck. Bill Gates happened to go to one of the only high schools in the entire world that had a computer back in the 1960s. That's like a 1 in a million shot of pure good luck. But he had a friend, Kent Evans, who was every bit as brilliant. Kent could have easily been a co-founder of Microsoft, but he died in a freak mountaineering accident before they even graduated. A 1 in a million tragedy. Luck and risk, they're really just two sides of the very same coin. So, if wealth isn't just about skill, and it's not just about luck, then what is it? See, we tend to judge wealth by what we can see, the fancy car, the huge house, but that's not wealth. That's just spending. Real wealth is actually hidden. It's the money you don't spend. It's the car you didn't buy, the upgrade you said no to. It's the assets sitting in an account quietly growing, giving you options, freedom, and control over your own life. Okay, so what do we do with all of this? This is where it gets really practical. Part 3 is all about taking these psychological lessons and turning them into a simple, durable plan that actually works for anyone.
First things first, we have to completely redefine the goal. It's not about being rich just to own a bunch of luxury goods. The single greatest thing that money can buy isn't more stuff, it's freedom. It's the ability to wake up every single morning and say, you know what, I can do whatever I want today. That right there is the highest form of wealth.
And it all boils down to a pretty simple 3-step strategy. Step 1, focus on your savings rate. Seriously, how much you save is way more important and more in your control than how much you earn or your investment returns. Step 2, build a margin of safety. Look, life is going to throw you curveballs, so having a cash buffer means you can handle the storms without being forced to sell your investments at the absolute worst time. And finally, step 3, always remember the real goal. Use your money to buy control over your time, not to keep up with the neighbors.
That whole strategy is really guided by a core philosophy. So, to wrap everything up, let's just boil it all down into 6 essential principles for long-term success. These are the rules that last.
Okay, here we go. Number 1, be humble when you succeed and be forgiving when you fail. Always remember the huge roles that luck and risk play in every single outcome. 2, save money just for the sake of saving. Life's biggest expenses are almost always surprises, so this gives you a shield against them. 3, manage your money in a way that helps you sleep soundly at night, not in a way that's constantly chasing the highest possible return. 4, increase your time horizon. Compounding is pure magic, but it needs decades, not days, to work. 5, get comfortable with a lot of things going wrong. It's okay. You don't have to be right all the time. Just a few big wins can easily make up for a bunch of small losses. And finally, number 6, the big one, use money to gain control over your time.
At the end of the day, our financial lives are really just guided by the stories we tell ourselves. Think about it. In 2007, the story was that housing prices could never, ever fall. By 2009, the story was that the entire global economy was on the verge of collapse. The physical world hadn't really changed that much, but the story changed everything. So I'll just leave you with this question. What story are you telling yourself about your money? Because that story, more than your salary, more than your portfolio, will determine your reality.